Kindlekid presents The Jungle Book, a real story of young kid Mowgli and his adventure. Our story begins in the lush Indian jungle. A tiny baby boy, Mowgli, is lost and alone. A fearsome tiger named Shere Khan stalks the jungle, vowing to kill the man cub. Fate intervenes when brave Mother Wolf discovers Mowgli. Defying Shere Khan, she adopts him as her own. Akela, the wise leader of the wolf pack, reluctantly agrees, seeing the spark of humanity in Mowgli's eyes. Mowgli thrives under the watchful eyes of the wolf pack. Bagheera, a black panther concerned about Mowgli's future, teaches him the law of the jungle, the code of conduct that keeps all the creatures in balance. But Mowgli also finds a carefree friend in Baloo, a lovable bear who teaches him the joys of the bare necessities and the simple life in the jungle. But danger lurks in the shadows. Shere Khan, remembering his vow, returns to the jungle. The tiger threatens the pack, demanding Mowgli's exile. Akela argues against Shere Khan, but the majority of the wolves agree with him. Mowgli feels devastated by the pack's betrayal. In response, he displays his pot of coals and condemns them for their actions. Mowgli claims that he no longer considers himself a member of the pack due to the way they have treated him. Mowgli, torn between two worlds, Bagheera. Bagheera advises Mowgli that it would be best to leave the jungle and live with the humans instead. His journey leads Mowgli to a group of mischievous monkeys called the Bundalog. The monkeys, fascinated by the man cub, kidnap Mowgli, leading him on a chaotic adventure through their ruined city. Bagheera and Baloo find out that Mowgli is kidnapped by the Bundalog. They ask for help from the python, Kaa, as he often eats Banfalog and knows where to find them. Bagheera and Kaa arrive at the cold lairs before Baloo because they are faster. However, Baloo shows up shortly after, prepared to fight to the death to save Mowgli. After the fight, they eventually save Mowgli from the Bundalog. After Mowgli's fallout with the wolves, he goes to live in a nearby human village. Just outside the village, a few people see Mowgli and take an interest in him. He is later adopted by a woman in the village. While Mowgli is outside, Grey Brother, a member of the wolf pack still loyal to Mowgli, approaches him. Grey Brother warns Mowgli that Shere Khan will likely return to cause more problems in the jungle. Mowgli devises a plan. He leads the buffaloes in a stampede, ultimately defeating Shere Khan. With the danger gone, Mowgli chooses to return to the jungle. Because of the defeat of Shere Khan, now the wolves want Mowgli and Akela to rebuild the strong community they once had. For now, Mowgli is back in the jungle but will one day live with the humans to marry a woman. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe the channel for more such video.
Kindlekid presents A Tale of Two Feathers.
One starry night, Otis Owl was sitting high in the trees, hunting for a tasty mouse. Suddenly, he spotted a shiny blue feather. "I've never seen this sort of feather before," he thought. "I wonder who it belongs to." He asked his friend, Navila Nightjar, "Have you seen any birds with feathers like this?" "I've never seen this sort of feather before," said Navila. "Why don't you ask Nigel Nightingale?" Otis took the feather to his friend, Nigel Nightingale. "Have you seen any birds with feathers like this?" he asked. "I've never seen this sort of feather before," said Nigel. "Why don't you ask Candace Corncrake?" Otis flew to see his friend, Candace Corncrake. "Have you seen any birds with feathers like this?" he asked. "I've never seen this sort of feather before," said Candace. "Why don't you get some rest and search some more tomorrow night?" The sun was starting to rise and the night was nearly over. Otis returned to his tree and settled down to sleep. That morning, Kia Kingfisher was sitting by the river, searching for a delicious minnow. Suddenly, she spotted a stripy white feather. "I don't know any birds with feathers like this," she thought. "I wonder where it came from." She asked her friend, Wilma Woodpecker, "Do you know who might have dropped this feather?" "I don't know any birds with feathers like this," said Wilma. "Why don't you ask Billy Bluetit?" Kia took the white feather to her friend, Billy Bluetit. "Do you know who might have dropped this feather?" she asked. "I don't know any birds with feathers like this," said Billy. "Why don't you ask Bertie Bullfinch?" Kia flew to see her friend, Bertie Bullfinch. "Do you know who might have dropped this feather?" she asked. "I don't know any birds with feathers like this," said Bertie. "Why don't you get some rest and search some more?" In the morning, the sun had begun to set and the day was nearly over. Exhausted, Kia settled down on a branch to rest. The sun disappeared and the forest became dark. Otis woke up, ready for another night of searching for the mysterious bird. He stepped out of his nest and was met by the most unusual sight. Right in front of his beak, sitting on his very own branch, was a bird with shiny blue feathers. "It's you," Otis hooted. "What? Who?" shrieked Kia. She stared at the bird that had interrupted her sleep. It was a bird with stripy white feathers. "Oh, it's you. I've been looking everywhere for you," the two birds said at the same time. "What are you doing out at night?" asked Kia. "Well, this is when I am awake," said Otis, confused. "Awake at night," said Kia. "But then what do you do during the day?" "Well, I sleep, of course," said Otis. Suddenly, the mystery was solved. This was why they had never met before. Otis had always thought that everyone slept during the day, while Kia had not realized that some animals only come out at night. "Come on," said Otis. "Let me show you my world." The two new friends flew through the forest, feeling very glad to have finally found each other. "Wow," gasped Kia. "Everything looks so different at night time." "I can't wait to see what it looks like in the daylight," said Otis. "Let's meet again tomorrow," suggested Kia, "and I can show you my world." Kindlekid presents Little Red Riding Hood.
Once upon a time there was a girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She lived with her mother in a village near a forest. One day, Little Red Riding Hood went to visit her grandmother. She took a basket of food with her. On her way, Little Red Riding Hood met a wolf.
Hello. Where are you going?
"I'm going to visit my grandmother who lives in the forest."
The wolf ran to her grandmother's house. He went inside and locked her in the wardrobe. He put on her nightgown and got into her bed. A little later, Little Red Riding Hood came to the house. She knocked on the door, then went inside. Little Red Riding Hood went over to Grandmother's bed.
Oh Granny, what big ears you have.
All the better to hear you with.
Oh Granny, what big eyes you have.
All the better to see you with.
Oh Granny, what big teeth you have.
All the better to eat you with.
Help! Shouted Little Red Riding Hood as she realized that there was a wolf in her grandmother's bed. She ran out of the house. A woodcutter was nearby. He heard Little Red Riding Hood scream and ran to the house. The woodcutter hit the wolf over the head. The wolf ran away, and Little Red Riding Hood never saw him again. Later, the girl and her grandmother thanked the woodcutter, and the wolf never returned. Thank you for watching the video. See you next time.
Kindlekid presents The Boy Who Cried Wolf. There was once a boy who looked after sheep. The boy was bored. One day, he played a trick on the villagers. The boy cried out that there was a wolf attacking his sheep, even though there wasn't. The villagers came up the hill to save the sheep. When they got there, there was no wolf. The boy laughed at them. "You must not tell lies," said the villagers. They went back to the village. Soon the boy was bored again. He shouted, "Wolf! Wolf!" The villagers rushed up the hill to save the sheep. When they got there, there was no wolf again. The boy laughed at them again. "You must not tell lies," shouted the villagers. They went back down to the village. Later that day, a wolf did come into the field. The boy shouted and shouted, "Wolf! Wolf!" This time no one came to help, and the wolf ate all of the sheep. The moral of the story is, if you tell lies, people won't believe you when you do tell the truth. Thank you for watching the video. This is end of the story. See you next time.
Kindlekid presents Alice in Wonderland. It was a warm day in summer. Alice was sitting in the sunshine, and she was reading a book with her sister. The book was terribly boring, and Alice began to feel sleepy. Suddenly, a small, white rabbit raced past. The rabbit was wearing clothes. He pulled a watch from his pocket to check the time. He cried, "Oh dear! Oh no! I'm late! I'm late!" The rabbit shook his head and then disappeared down a rabbit hole. Alice followed the rabbit to the hole. She peered through the entrance, but she could no longer see the rabbit. She squeezed her head and shoulders into the hole. Then, she wriggled her body a little further. Suddenly, Alice felt herself falling. For a long time, she tumbled down the rabbit hole. Finally, she landed with a bump in a long hallway which had a tiny door at the end of it. "I'm far too big to fit through such a little door," Alice said to herself. Nearby, on a three-legged table, she found a small bottle. The bottle had a label on it which read, "Drink me." Alice quickly drank from the bottle. Alice shrank until she was as small as a doll. She opened the door and quickly ran through it. "Oh, I'll never get back to the right size," Alice cried. She began to look for help. Soon, Alice met a green caterpillar who was sitting on top of a large mushroom. The caterpillar explained, "Well, I may be able to help if size is your only problem. One side of this mushroom will make you bigger, but the other side will make you smaller." Alice cut a piece from the left side of the mushroom, and she took a small bite. "Thank goodness! I'm growing," she cried. "Which way should I go now?" puzzled Alice. "That path will lead you to the Mad Hatter's tea party," said a cat who was sitting in a tree. Alice walked down the path. She came across a long table which had been set ready for a tea party. "How lovely! A tea party," she cried. "There's no room for you," shouted the Mad Hatter as Alice arrived. Alice ignored him and sat down anyway. She wanted to have a cup of tea with the March Hare and a sleepy little mouse. After the tea party, Alice continued walking. She found herself in the middle of a field where the Queen of Hearts was playing croquet. "Have you ever played croquet?" asked the Queen of Hearts. "Yes," Alice answered, "but I've never used a flamingo or a hedgehog to do so." "You will play with me and let me win or I'll chop off your head," ordered the Queen of Hearts. Alice wasn't very good at croquet. "Off with her head," cried the Queen of Hearts. Just then, Alice felt someone touch her shoulder. "Wake up! You've been sleeping," said Alice's sister. "I had a strange dream," said Alice. Alice told her sister all about her adventure. Before long, Alice realized that she hadn't eaten for hours and she ran inside for something to eat. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe.